Good morning, everyone. I'm Sheriff Matt Clifford with Ada County Sheriff's Office. This morning I'm joined by our elected county prosecutor, some close members of our agency, and chiefs and representatives from across the valley. They're here to show support and to show just how closely we work together, because there are many agencies that are working on this case. Last night at about 8:55 p.m., an ACO deputy made a traffic stop on a gray Chevy Suburban near Overland and Raymond in Boise. When he approached the driver's window, the driver shot the deputy and fled the scene. Video shows that the deputy never even made it to the window. The driver was 65 years old, and we do not know why he fled or shot the deputy. All we do know is he had a $3,000 misdemeanor warrant for his arrest. His identity will not be released at this time. A citizen saw the injured deputy, called 911, and performed CPR until medics arrived to transport our deputy to St. Al's. Deputy Tobin Bolter is our deputy, and we're devastated to say he did not survive his injuries, and he passed away moments before this press conference. Deputy Bolter has 7 years of law enforcement experience. He's been with our agency only since January. Deputy Bolter previously worked for Meridian Police and Pleasant Hill Police Department in California. While on our way to help the downed deputy, another deputy was involved in a two-vehicle crash near Meridian and Amity. That deputy was transported to St. Al's, Boise, and is currently in stable condition. Driver of the other vehicle also was transported to the hospital. Idaho State Police are investigating the crash. The suspect after the incident was located by Boise police, and there was a confrontation, and that suspect was shot and killed. And I'm going to let Chief Weiser talk about that in a moment. Garden City Police Department is investigating that through our critical incident task force. Every time we have an officer involved shooting, we deploy them, and it is Garden City on the lead for that investigation. I'd like to thank the Ada County paramedics and the hospital staff at St. Al's for taking care of our deputies. They were more than gracious to take us all in for all through the night. There are still people down there as we speak. I'd also like to thank the citizen who stopped and rendered aid to Deputy Bolter. I think it goes to show what kind of community we live in, where there are evil people that will do evil things, but there are good people that help us and come to our aid. I want to thank Boise Police Department for relentlessly searching for the suspect. Chief Weiser will talk more about the details about the search and apprehension of the suspect. I do need to thank all of the folks behind me and all of the people all over Idaho, all the chiefs and sheriffs that have reached out. It's not just our community here, it shows what kind of a state we live in. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Weiser.
Good morning. Our sincerest thoughts and prayers are with the Ada County Sheriff's Office and the fallen deputy's family at this extremely difficult time. We also send our best wishes for a speedy recovery to the Ada County deputy who was involved in the crash and is still in the hospital at this time. We're thankful that no innocent, uninvolved bystanders were injured during these violent encounters. There is absolutely no excuse or justifiable reason for this violence perpetrated against law enforcement officers in our community. I am both angered and heartbroken at the same time. Approximately 9:30 p.m. last night, Boise police officers did locate the unoccupied suspect vehicle from the incident that Sheriff Clifford just described. A suspect believed to be the shooting suspect was then located outside a residence on South Jackson Street in Boise. Boise police issued a code red alert to those in the area and neighbors nearby, as well as making several additional personal contacts with people close by in that area in order to try and make sure innocent people and bystanders were not impacted. Our Boise Police Department Special Operations Unit responded when the subject was located and believed to be the suspect in the shooting. They attempted for quite some time to peacefully and safely take the suspect into custody. Shortly after midnight, the suspect fired a weapon at officers. A BPD officer then returned fire, striking him. The suspect was then given medical aid and transported by ambulance to a local area hospital where he was pronounced deceased. As Sheriff Clifford has mentioned, the Ada County Critical Incident Task Force will be led by the Garden City Police Department in this incident, and they will be investigating the Boise Police Department officer involved in shooting. No Boise police officers were physically injured, and the involved officer who fired his weapon will be placed on administrative leave, as is our policy in these types of incidents. The Ada County coroner will release the name of the suspect at some point in the future once notifications have been made. I would also like to mention that officers are still out on the scene and in that area, and there are several roads that are impacted or closed, and we would just encourage people to stay away from that area and avoid causing any disruptions in traffic or to anyone else in the neighborhood. This is an extremely difficult time for an agency to go through, losing an officer. We support them, we stand beside them and behind them, and our hearts grieve with the family, friends, and loved ones of Deputy Bolter. I believe that we may entertain a few questions this morning if you have them, but that is about all the information we can share about the incident at this time.
Chief, was a weapon recovered seen on Jackson?
Yes.
Was it a handgun or?
My belief is it was a handgun.
Is there anything else about the suspect? You mentioned, they mentioned that the sheriff mentioned he had a warrant. Is there anything else that we know about him, what city he was from, or any of that?
He was a 65-year-old white male adult. I believe he was a Boise resident.
And I don't know when the last time was that a Ada County deputy lost their life in the line of duty. Do you happen to know?
I can certainly defer to the sheriff, but I do not believe that the Ada County Sheriff's Office has ever lost a deputy in the line of duty. Is that correct, Sheriff?
Yeah. Yep, that's correct. This is the first Ada County deputy to ever be killed in a line of duty.
And did he have family here?
Yes, and the family's been here and at the hospital within moments of his arrival, and they're still down there now.
I can only imagine like what the department is going through. Is there counseling available for deputies and other staff in regards to this? Is that a normal procedure?
Yes, so last night, even at the hospital, we started to deploy our peer support group. There are members of them that are in the building right now as we speak and have been visiting with deputies all night. There was a big gathering of deputies, so that was also helpful in healing, but those peer support folks are in the room helping them deal with one-on-one or as a group as needed.
Think of anything else off the top of my head. How are you doing today? I mean, this is horrible.
Yeah, so this is something you don't ever want to experience as an agency head. Of course, we've never had to experience it here. We've had our share of tragedy like everyone else around the valley, but it's been a long time since we've lost someone here in this county at any agency. And so, it's going to take a lot of time for healing, but it'll be one of those things that will never be forgotten, and will be memorialized, and we'll keep on doing the best we can to be out in the community and do what we can for the community and provide the service that we provide. There will be probably a really great push from the public to want to support the family in all kinds of different ways. I'd ask that you stay tuned for an avenue for that. It can be overwhelming when people simply show up at the sheriff's office and have items and money and things like that. We really need to keep track of it, so we will have a conduit for the public to use to support the family. But we'll have to figure that out in the days to come. But we do have a plan for that.
Maybe for the chief, when the suspect was located there on Jackson, I saw like the special operations unit was out there. Were they involved in the shooting itself when the suspect opened fire and the fire was returned, or was that another?
That is correct. Our special operations unit had responded, and they were the ones who took fire from the suspect and returned fire.
And how long would you estimate between the time he was located and that happened?
The vehicle was located around 9:30 p.m. I don't know exactly what time they located the suspect, but it was shortly thereafter, and shots were fired not until after midnight.
Does he reside in that area, or do you know?
I don't know for sure that I could say where exactly he resides, but we believe he was tied to that area.
And do you know what kind of vehicle he had?
I do not have that information to be released at this time.
Can I ask, what's a code red?
Code Red is a community alert sent out via cell phones and to members of a community in a certain geographical area to alert them to the fact that there is police activity going on or whatever the incident may be. It's meant to give a warning to residents and people that are in the area and to alert them to the fact that things are happening. Generally speaking, if there are specific instructions that we want to give them, we will include that in the Code Red alert. In this case, we were just encouraging people to stay indoors and shelter in place, except for those that we made contact with directly to evacuate from the area.
Is there anything in it, maybe too early as well, to indicate like how his vehicle was located?
Excuse me. Certainly we had a vehicle description that was provided to dispatch, and officers were flooding the area and located that vehicle unoccupied and parked.